Unfiltered with Bran Otieno and Dongo Gashane.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Unfiltered, a podcast on the KTN News YouTube channel that is also live on Facebook, TikTok and all our social media platforms. My name is Bran Otieno. I write for the Standard newspaper as a big fan. I'll be joined by Mr.
Dongo Gashane, also a political reporter here at the Standard Media Group.
Yes. So welcome. Apologies for the slight delays, but the show goes on. Today we're interviewing the Machakos Deputy Governor, Bwana Francis Mwangangi. We're so glad you could make time for us.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, today we had a function at Council of Governors. That's where I have delayed. And my apologies.
No worries. I'm sure our viewers understand. Bwana Mwangangi, a lot has been happening this week. We had Monday with the Sabasaba protests, which led to unfortunate deaths. 31 people were killed. The death toll is rising every day. Yesterday, the president comes out and says, shoot rioters in the legs. He follows it up with a warning to the judge, Bwana Lawrence Mugambi, about a ruling he made about blocking, about roadblocks, saying that this person is saying that the police should not protect the lives and properties of other people. What do you see in all of this?
Thank you, and my condolences, personal condolences to the families that have lost loved ones. Secondly, even to Kenyans, because I'm sure when they were waking up at 6 to go and vote, this is not what many of them were expecting. Thirdly is, as a country, we have a constitution. If only we can adhere to that constitution and we become a country that applies constitutionalism fairly, I'm sure Kenyans are the best people to lead. Why am I saying this? I might have been very young when there was transition from the long ruling of Kano to the third president of the Republic of Kenya, the late President Kibaki. And Kenyans were so optimistic, such that in case they saw any public officer misbehaving, they were ready to cooperate and report that person. We can easily go back to there if only we stick to constitutionalism, to our security agencies. During the last demonstrations, we have been seeing how they come out to crush demonstrators. Kenya is a democratic state. Kenya is not authoritarian. Kenya is not led by an autocratic regime. What I want to tell our security agencies is you will be held to account.
Individually.
Remember, whoever is saying shoot the leg, he will soon. Even if the 2027 election comes, there is time limit in Kenya. You will be out. And if you committed crime against Kenyans, you will be held to account. They might not, they will continue killing. And I'm foreseeing a situation where the more this regime continues murdering, continues assassinating, continues maiming, continues to shoot citizens of this country, the more resistance. I think the best way how it is, because the problems the country is facing is of their own making. Why am I saying this? They went out campaign. They campaigned everywhere. They promised Kenyans what they promised. And remember previous demonstrations led by the opposition. Remember, there was that committee that was brought together, and that committee came up with a report the famous Nandiko report. That is still in the shapes. Nothing. They have not implemented this report. So over their promises, high taxation regime, killing of devolution in Kenya. And I'm saying killing because we cannot be talking about 4.2 trillion budget of a country, and you are only giving merely 400 billion to counties. You are joking. When the basics have been transferred through the law to counties. I might not be, people might say because this one is serving as a deputy governor in a certain county, this is why he is speaking the way he is speaking. Far from it. Get me out of Machakos County as a deputy governor, bring me here and I will speak the same way I'm speaking. Yes. The best way and the easiest way to transform this country is through devolution. And we have so many problems because even at the devolution itself, there are so many problems that they are at national level.
Yes, but Mheshimiwa, before, even if we are not going to agree on the prescription of shoot to kill order, let's face it, there are some criminal elements who have actually infiltrated the protest. We have seen business people crying that they are counting massive losses because of the infiltration of goons. So where is the lie? There has been claims that the state is sponsoring the militia. But when the same state now uses brutal force to ensure that the same businesses are protected, then we now hear that we have even cases where police officers have been also beaten mercilessly by the protesters. In Kamukoji, for instance, during the 25th protest, we had a case where an officer lost a Jidri rifle, the Sabasaba protest. So what is your prescription to a situation where police officers are overwhelmed by protesters who are actually goons, not peaceful protesters, and they destroy root businesses which are also owned by Kenyans? Where is the divide? Where is the lie? How do we deal with the situation, Mheshimiwa?
A number of things. First and foremost, to Kenyans, my fellow Kenyans, don't destroy your country. Demonstrations should be peaceful, should be orderly, should be protected. We should not go against one another. That is not demonstrations. Secondly, I think we need to look at this thing in different ways. I'm a scholar in international affairs, and I will tell you, a country that has been stable like Kenya, somebody else, even a foreigner, can easily penetrate this country and take advantage of the current demonstrations. Although this is not what I'm saying, but there is that likelihood because they are enemies. The progress of Kenya is an enemy to anybody else out there. So in this case, all I want to say is the responsibility of any government is to protect life and property. Now, it is the responsibility of the government that they secure all Kenyans, including our security enforcement officers. We need not to attack one another, because when you attack a police officer, when you attack a police station, when you unleash the force from police to demonstrators, what are you doing? You are creating a national resistance, and that is not the way to go. Thirdly, I think we need to I'm surprised when I see my president cry like another Kenyan. When you start issuing public threats, I don't think that is a leader we elected. In my view, personal view, not of Machakos County or my party or my personal view, I think he should be cool and do his duty, protect Kenyans, protect property, ensure stability in the country.
But how do you protect property when you are defending the right of Kenyans to protest under Article 37, which is given by the Constitution? But what about cases where I believe also in Machakos County, because in Murang'a, in Kiambu, in places like Nairobi here, we saw massive destruction of property. What is the remedy? How should police behave when they are confronted to an issue where protesters are pelting stones, throwing at the police officers? I've given an example of that case of unfortunate case that I have written about Kamukoji. According to you, how should police behave or act in such situations?
Our enforcement officers have a tendency of using excessive force.
Yeah.
Have a tendency of interfering with the demonstrations, and that is where the challenge is. Let any group of people, Gen Zs included, even party, UDA or Kenya Kwanza organize a demonstration. If police do not interfere, if political entities and personalities do not send goons, sponsor hooliganism, that demonstration will be peaceful. I don't know why Kenya Kwanza is scared of demonstrations. Because I can tell you for free, if this we were to do proper and thorough investigations, what you are seeing around will find itself to Kenya Kwanza administration.
Or are you saying that we also had some such claims by the former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua yesterday and your party leader Juzi when they was talking about the state-sponsored militia to target a community. Do you believe so?
Strongly.
Why?
I believe in statistics. As a scholar, I'm not supposed to speculate.
Yes.
Tell me, go and analyze. As journalists, you have been covering this. Play it. All those clips of the businesses that have been
Destroyed.
hugely destroyed, hugely looted, they belong to who? That is a fact. That is a fact.
But what's the
And
fact? Where's the
here-
evidence,
and
Mheshimiwa, that it
the
is the government?
evidence,
Yes.
the evidence is over 3/4, almost over 90% of the affected business belong to a certain specific community. That is a fact. It's not politics. It's not speculation.
Yes, I'm talking about
It
the
is in the
evidence of
records.
connecting the looting and the destruction with the government.
There are so many businesses. Why a specific community? Only businesses. It is as simple as that. Why? We are three over here. We
Yes.
have Otieno. We have Mwangangi.
We have Dongo.
We have Ndongo here. Why would somebody come to me and not you and not this other one? So in this case, what I'm saying, the politics of Kenya Kwanza coalition
Yes.
seem to be spilling over to affect the entire country. In which sense, everything happening in this country today is about Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua. He is doing. He is this. I'm sure even inaweza fika mahali hata mtu akishindwa na bibi yake anasema
But you've made a very important point there about Kenya Kwanza allowing protests to take place. What do you think it says about the government when police officers are seen marching alongside goons, arming them with clubs? What do you think it says about the government?
First and foremost, that is a very dangerous trade. Any country that has gone to slipped down to a civil stripe, that is the route they have taken. Security agencies needs to do their work fairly, so that any Kenyan has confidence in them. Whenever there are issues, I can look up to the security enforcement officers because I trust them. But in this case, whenever you see harmed people move alongside with our security enforcement officers, what it means is maybe somebody somewhere in higher authority, because such an order can only come to somebody higher in government. It means the government is promoting thuggerism. This will lead to something else, because if I'm attacked by these thugs, people organizes another demonstrations, they come. Then the third time I will also have my
Yes,
also people to protect me,
protect,
and that is how warlordism will be given birth into this country, and that is dangerous for the stability of the country. In my view, I think we should entrust our police, our national police service. Unfortunately, we seem not to have transited from police force to a service. I think we need that retraining and a lot of retraining so that we know how to handle these demonstrations. In many countries around the world, there has been serious demonstrations. It is the other day when Israelis were on the streets demanding for the resignation of Benjamin Netanyahu, their prime minister. Were they killed? What is so special in demanding a certain governor to get out, or deputy governor or a president? but what is so there's nothing special.
But deputy governor, you have
that
talked
does not
about
warrant,
about what is so special with asking even the president to even step down, and that is another question I would like us you probably help us to navigate, because the opposition seems to be calling or asking the president to step down or resign because of the anger, the fury by the citizens, and they claim that he has breached the social contract. But Deputy Governor, the Constitution gives him at least 5 years. We heard the president yesterday say that there are coup attempts. Are you guys calling for resignation of the president? Or what are you really saying when you say, or you support the calls of Ruto must go?
Okay, thank you for that question. Before we go there, allow me, I say this. Around 2010, late 2010 and throughout 2011, there was something called Arab Spring.
Indeed.
Arab Spring, how it started the way it is in Kenya. And it reached a point when one merchant, remember in that particular country, there was no, it was not Syria. It is a northern Kenya.
Northern Africa.
It was ended by Ben Ali as a president.
Morocco.
Tunisia. It was Tunisia. Arab Spring started here in Africa, in Tunisia, led by the president then was Ben Ali. His administration could not listen to the residents. They were corrupt. Economy was poorly managed, and everybody was suffering. So one merchant, Mohammed Bouazizi, was arrested one morning, and his cat confiscated by government officials. He tried to negotiate with them. He could not. So what this guy did, he went and stood before a government office and set himself on fire. I can tell you, obviously people tried to come in and he was taken to hospital, but within a few days, he passed on. That was the start of Arab Spring. And it is so many autocrats, so many leaders who are oppressing their people exceed the power from across Arab countries. Here in Kenya, we are used to, we demonstrate, we set up a national committee, and then that committee does a report that, like Nandiko did. It is done somewhere. Regular report done somewhere. Report on police reforms. It is somewhere being dusted. And we might think we who have an opportunity to lead Kenyans, it's like Kenyans are fools. Kenyans do not see what is happening in their country, in their counties, in their wards, in their constituencies, in their any part of this country. Kenyans are seeing. I think we need to be careful how we in power, we in authority treat Kenyans. We need to listen to them. Let me take you back again. Last year, June 25th, because these youths, Gen Zs, had nobody to listen to them. They took their views to members of parliament during budget, but because of the style of the autocratic style of Kenya Kwanza administration, they did not bother to listen to them or to take on board their views. Did they not get to the parliament?
They did.
What makes them think? What makes me think as a deputy governor that cannot happen in Machakos?
It's interesting you mentioned the Arab Spring. In the wake of the Arab Spring, we witnessed.
There's a question I will need to answer.
Okay.
So, to Dungo's question of why are we those who are not in government, are we calling for the resignation of a democratically elected government or president? Far from it. Far from it. That has come from Gen Zs.
Okay.
Our support for demonstrations is for better governance. There's massive land grabbing in this country. We can say, including even in my own county, by top government officials. We know them. They use proxies, and we know what they are doing. There's massive mismanagement of this country at the moment. We are saying, please improve on this. We cannot wait. The time is now to improve. Why are we saying this, Wanandungo?
Yes.
It's a fact. Since independence, there is no administration, there is no national administration that has collected trillions of monies in taxes like this government. There is no single government that has collected higher collection in terms of revenue, in terms of taxes, like this regime. But you go to the streets. Here, the lecturers are demonstrating in the streets for them to be heard. Students are in the streets. Our education is almost collapsing. Many of almost more than half of our students are at home because they cannot afford the new system. Now, we who are in a devolution space, we are also crying because a lot in terms of what affects the commoners has been devolved to counties, but we lack resources to so in this case we who support opposition we cannot make such a claim unless it is extreme. But when we are here Gen Zs, after they have been murdered, after they have been forced disappearances, after they have been abductions, now it has reached to a point they are saying we were promised this. It is not coming. We were promised this job creation. It is not coming. Instead, we are seeing so many billionaires and so much reckless sentiment by some of the leaders. We people in the office. Is it not this country? I heard somebody say we know how to manufacture 20 plus residents. We know hata ikikosa kutoshea tutajaza. Where does it leave Kenyans when you hear those kind of sentiments to people whom we know they are standard tune products?
Buana DG, I'll take you back to the Arab Spring. And a lot of those countries that participated in that struggled to find their footing. We've seen where Syria is. Syria has never gone back to
its feet.
To where it was before. And then there's something you've said that is also very interesting. That if this Gen Z can storm parliament, what stops you from thinking that could happen to you? So what stops Kenyans from thinking that whatever we are witnessing now in Sudan with the popular was it a coup, a civilian coup of Mr. Omar al-Bashir, what stops Kenya from sinking to that position?
First, let me say this. If we leaders, starting with the MCA, to MPs, senators, women, rep, everybody, to governors, to the deputy governors, to deputy president, to president, if we improve our listening skills and the way we view the people we lead, this country will change. Let me make another statement. All those countries that have developed have had some form of revolution. Even for this country to scrap Section 2A to have multi-partisan. People had to go to streets. Even for this country to have a new constitution, there had to be something. People to, even with the regime resisting. We saw when Azimio went to the streets, there was a senior officer, actually commander of National Police Service here in this county, where we are, Nairobi. Because of doing good job of having so many people abducted, many disappear up to date, others killed, he was promoted. That is a message of what this regime is all about. Now, what today he is in charge of the entire operations. No wonder whenever there are demonstrations, there are these kind of deaths we are seeing. And we have that record. And I can tell you, we might not be there. Because the next minute, it is only God who knows. But one day, one time, Mwangangi will be held to account for what he does, what he says, what he fails to do.
As a scholar of international studies, you study many countries. Have you ever seen a country where the president is this angry as our own?
That is not how it should be. I think whoever devised the head of state misled him. Really, in democratic societies, because you live by the wishes of the people you lead, you cannot be that angry because of the people you lead. It means you and them, there's a lot of disconnect. I think I will ask some bishops, maybe the ones I know they are close to him, because I know him, at least to go and talk to him. For him to come out and show his anger openly, irrespective of the situation, that one is not a good thing.
But why do you think he's angry?
So your question is maybe in autocratic states, not in democratic societies. Yes.
So why do you think he's angry?
So I think he's he's angry because of what is happening. There is nothing in the country that is going in the right direction. Definitely, as a leader, if you can, I think he thought after bringing Raila to his side, after having ODM on his side, and they signed something at KICC, I think he thought that is now done.
He has continued opposition.
On 2027. But Kenyans are saying they want to hold everybody to account. They want to hold an MCA to account, to every elected leader, because we elected you. And there is nowhere, I've read our constitution almost 4, 5, 10 times. There is nowhere where it says at once you are elected for a 2-year period, 5-year period, you cannot be recalled in between. Those who put you there, they can also demand otherwise. Yes. What happens if 10 million Kenyans converge here in Nairobi and say they want the resignation of this government? What happens? Are you going to kill all of them?
You can't, but I have a question. Suppose, assuming they do that,
Mheshimiwa. No. That is not what they need to do.
Yes.
What I advise Kenyans is let the government listen to them.
Yeah.
We need not to go there to demand for resignation of the government. That is too extreme. But if the anger continues the way we saw, then maybe Kenyans might demand maybe somebody who is sober to lead them. Because when the head of state gets to the level he got yesterday, then what it means is he might issue some orders when he is that annoyed, and orders that might prove catastrophic to the country.
Yeah.
So in this case, I think that's why I made a proposal, because I know there are some bishops who can maybe book an appointment. Maybe they sit down, they first pray with him, they also pray for him, and
for the
tell him, and for the country,
yes,
and maybe intervene, because we want a stable country, and this stable country will not be achieved through force. we must agree, we must talk, and not only talking, whatever we agree, it finds itself on implementation tempo, so that Kenyans can benefit, so that we can prosper as a country. It is as simple as that.
Well, we can move on to the next debate, and it's about opposition. You are
And
calling
you asked
yourselves.
a question
Oh, you have not.
About
Whether you have
that
seen
question.
national
presidents.
relations.
Yes, yes. And whether you have seen other presidents.
You've
angry
said
like,
only in autocratic states.
Yes,
Yes.
autocratic states.
Yeah,
Yes.
That you answered.
and it's important that you've said that we now need to talk as a country. How would you suggest that we talk? Is it through an intergenerational conclave?
One, as the government comes to the table, if they will ever accept, unless they are forced, let them come bearing in mind anything that has been discussed and agreed upon is still in the shelf. And it is those things like an Nandiko report,
Yeah.
police reforms report, all manner of things. They have it there. Okay? When we talk about devolution, it is clear and there is a schedule on what is to be devolved to counties. You know, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Even as they come to the table, they need to know, actually somebody needs to first apologize to Kenyans.
And that's the president.
Because we cannot waste public resources in having a team, high-level team, in the National Assembly, outside National Assembly. We bring something together, and then it is shelved. I think somebody needs to bite the bullet and apologize to the country. Next, you have asked a specific question: how do we move from where we are? One, we need to bring almost everybody on the table, because the church, the religious organizations in this country are complaining. Oh, it's not well. Business community, many of them are migrating, moving out of this country to neighboring countries, others closing down their businesses. That means increased poverty in our country. I heard Kenya Kwanza say the economy has expanded since they came in. They are forgetting it is the reforms that were put then, and the absence, the presence of devolution in this country, where we are seeing developments across the country, as opposed to their policies. Their policies are killing all that has been built over the years. So in this case, we need to bring everybody on the discussion table. Whether are these JNCs, because remember, it is the same JNCs who sat at KICC with our current president. And I thought now this matter is sorted out. What was implemented after that meeting? What was implemented out of that session with the head of state?
Very good question.
Now,
Yes.
something else. After June 25th last year, storming of the parliament, President made an issue, made a national address. What was achieved out of that? The single one that was addressed from the speech that he read that evening, conceding and saying he has seen the anger of Kenyans.
But then do you believe that if he has not implemented any of the promises he made as he called on the youth to calm down, do you think even coming to the table will make him heed to the good governance, corruption, and so many other issues that the youth want him to adhere and also to implement? Do you think the president can hear?
Listen.
Can he listen?
You know, one thing, I think for those listening to us, for those watching us, it is good I remind our viewers that we are a democratic society. Meaning I'm a deputy governor courtesy of a certain process and an election. I think if our people wants the county leadership of Machakos to do certain things, if they are legal, we need to listen to them and act on them, because that is, we exist because of them. Okay? Even at national level. You know, I said a prayer for this administration when they got to the office, because one, we had people who have been in government, who have never worked in private sector, and there are people who have made an impact in the public sector. Like an example of our current head of state. You remember, as he started as an Eldoret North Member of Parliament, and he did so well that he was re-elected. He was made an assistant minister. He was made a minister, and anywhere he went, he made a mark. I don't know what has happened. I don't know what has happened. So in this case, I think maybe I think they thought they have done much well. That they decided to be ignorant and the power get into their head, because soon after this government got into power, here in Mavoko, a walking distance from this station, they did. You remember they went demolishing. In fact, they did not even engage the county government of Machakos. I remember President, when he came in, when he used to come to Ukambani, we could be told through the county commissioner, and we could happily welcome the head of state. And our party had no problem with that, because we were working on this specific issue, where almost 40 churches, 3 of them on record, he gave 5 million for them to be constructed. I think the prayers that were done by church after those demolitions, the cries of the people who, I remember one afternoon I was sent there by the governor to go and give people water and food. I remember some pupils who had left in the morning to school. They came. When they came, they could not find their home. It had already been demolished. Instead of getting out, they just went back to the vehicle. Where is the cry of that young one? So in this case, I think we need to recollect ourselves. Maybe as an administration, maybe as a government, because government belongs to all of us Kenyans. But the administration is, I think now it used to be William Ruto administration. Now I think it is Raila Ruto administration, whichever. Because there is I hear there is a donation of some ODM officials to them, the experts. I don't think they are experts. So in this case, I think the way forward, to answer your question, my feeling is we need to bring everybody on board, and we want somebody who can be trusted, so that he or she can, or they can lead that discussion with clear timelines to implement anything that comes out of it.
Do you think the opposition can be trusted to do that?
No. It is not. It is not the government or the opposition or the agencies to do that. We need somebody who can be fair and who can be trusted by almost everybody. You cannot be trusted by everybody, but at least the majority can trust you. The government, the opposition, the agencies, and even the church. But that is my proposal. But
Mheshimiwa, I think your proposal is good, but you remember your party leader was once selected by his then party leader Raila Odinga to come up with the NADCO report.
A way forward for...
Yes, a way forward after. You remember the protests that were led by Azimio then, before it crashed. I don't know whether Azimio still exists, but before it crashed, we remember President nominated the National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, and on Raila's side, he nominated Kalonzo Musyoka, who is your party leader, and also Opiyo Wandayi, if I'm not wrong.
Opiyo Wandayi,
but
yes.
That is another report, the NADCO report. You remember in the former regime, which was led by former President Uhuru Kenyatta, after Raila Odinga greeted him through the famous handshake in March 2018, they came up with the handshake. Yes, they came up. Handshake. Yes, the handshake. They came up with the BBI, the Building Bridges initiative, and they later morphed to a constitutional amendment bill that the Supreme Court declared null and void. So when you propose for another set, a round of talks, how different will it going to be with the NADCO and the BBI?
Two wrongs don't make a right. My take would be, I think those who are in power are playing politics.
Yeah.
And maybe then our leader in Azimio used it to negotiate his way to government. And that's why they ended up, two of them signing a 10-point thing at KICC. So
your leader snuck out.
No. I think, our then, he is no longer my leader. Well, that is not the way leaders behave. The people you lead, you carry them along. Raila Odinga left us. We just had him in. We used to hear as rumors, only for him to actualize them. I think he was using my party leader was coming in for a call of national duty to ensure we end the bloodshed, the stalemate that was there. He did. Him and the then leader of no, not then, even is the current majority leader in parliament, Kimani Ichung'wah. We were together in Bunge. I think they did a super job, but the two leaders have not implemented the report, meaning they just used it for Raila to just get to Ruto, and that was all. So in this case, that is not a very good thing, and no wonder Kenyans now have told him to just stay aside. They sort it out themselves. They don't want they don't want him to lead this kind of things again, and they are doing it effectively. So I think, because the question is, this report came along, it has not been implemented. How are we going to ensure, or what is the difference with this time round, if whatever will be discussed will not be implemented or be like the NADCO report? My take would be very simple. There will be clear timelines on how this one will be implemented, whatever will be discussed there. We are in different situations. Let me tell you, I've heard the Kenya Kwanza people, they go nowadays, they are doing a very funny thing, thinking Kenyans are too stupid, carrying money in sacks, going to empower youths and women. They go somewhere, they say this belongs to Melata hii ni Rais,
the women and empowerment projects.
So, I've never, show me any, I've done thorough research. Show me any single country, any region that has been developed through
the economic empowerment programs.
No, we are back to YK 1992. We are destroying the economy of this country. Where do you think this money is coming from? Why don't they call a meeting, a national meeting, and say, this is the kind of business that we are doing to get this kind of money we are donating to groups. And look, they are doing that, yet the anger in the country is rising day by day.
It is never capsizing, it's only rising.
So in this case, please, the issue where we are now, because the country seems to be equally annoyed. The head of state seems also to be annoyed. Two wrongs don't make right.
True.
We cool down, he cools down, and we discuss these things, because I'm not sure the next maandamano what will happen.
True.
In case they will be.
Bwana DG, I want us to move to the opposition now, united by this clamor for reconnecting cousins. What is the glue that holds this opposition?
Let me define cousin. Cousin is not the normal cousin blood related. Cousin is anybody who wants the country to be governed well, with no corruption, no mismanagement, and with fairness, equity, and equality. In terms of public appointments, we don't want people to stand anywhere and say, you kampani mukona this number of CSS and PSS. That's nonsense. We want everybody to feel this is our government. Okay? We want fairness. So anybody who wants a prosperous Kenya, a peaceful, united Kenya, is a cousin. That's what we mean. Now, to what odds the opposition together is very simple. It's the suffering of Kenyans.
It is not
Kenyans
for
are suffering.
power.
No. They will have to hold together. They have got no choice. Unless one of them or two of them is bought at night. Given the kind of billions I've seen around.
Are there such
Any
efforts?
signs?
So if he is purchased, he will still tell Kenyans who are amenunuliwa.
But
They will deal with it.
There are rumors that your party leader is one of those approached.
That he may join the
No,
government.
no. I can tell you now.
Kalonzo is not joining the
Let me
government.
remind you, 2002, Kalonzo is a minister in the late president's, second president of the Republic of Kenya's cabinet. He was invited in State House. Kenyans can recall this too well. And the opposition was having a rally in Ithaca. He went and led prayers for their breakfast with His Excellency Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi. And after the breakfast, he told him, I don't want you to get surprised. From here, I'm going to Thika. I belong to that site. Please allow me to continue with my business. Now, those who have been calling my party leader watermelon, he can't do this. Kenyans today know who is the real watermelon. Yes.
But then what about 207 when he joined?
No, there's no such a thing. I can tell you. Just forget. No, but that's why some of us are very near, so that some things cannot happen.
No, but you were party leader in 2000.
We want a transformed, prosperous country.
In 2020.
Not a country that we are busy looting the country in the name of developing the same country. No.
Yes. In 2022, your party leader said he would be the most stupid politician if he supported Raila Odinga's presidential bid. He even went ahead and nominated Sunkuli to be his running mate. But alas, he was even subjected to interviews. Mheshimiwa.
They say.
Interviews.
Yes, they say it is only a stupid leader who does not change his or her mind. I think that question is answered. Secondly, and this is very serious.
Yeah.
Wale Soyinka, a very respected Pan-Africanist from Nigeria and a writer. He once said, the threat to freedom is the absence of criticism. What I'm telling you is we know Kalonzo has been was branded in a certain way by somebody who had his own interests. Okay? And because of that branding, Kenyans almost got convinced. The issue of somebody who cannot make a decision, the issue of somebody who is here, not there.
Not even Kalonzo.
In this case, when the call of duty comes, serious leaders think through. The way Kalonzo did when the country was being torn apart through demonstrations. He came with sincerity and sat at Bomas of Kenya to ensure this country stood and got held together. Equally, 2000 and is it 2007, 2008? He came for the country. He came along for the country. Assume Kalonzo went to the other side to go against a sitting president. What could have happened to this country? He had a duty to save this country, and that is what he did.
Going forward, do you think Kalonzo is a strong candidate to lead the opposition into making Ruto a one-term?
Maybe you don't know Kalonzo. I think I need a week or a month to tell you about Kalonzo. Yes, I think not many get to know who
Kalonzo.
His Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is. He's a senior counsel.
He is.
So I think he can. He can. I think with the candidacy of Kalonzo Musyoka, it will be 80%. The rest will divide the remaining 20 or 10.
But people say that he lacks the political oomph.
It is not
the conviction.
Just a minute. Let me tell you, Kenyans have resolved in one accord.
Yes.
That's why you are hearing men are saying one term.
Yes.
Others are saying half term. Others are saying even that half term is too much.
Yeah.
Okay? Kenyans are united in one accord that we need a change of who governs this country. And why are we saying this? Mimi ni mtu ya mashinane. Huko chini, when you are talking about broad-based government here in Nairobi and in India, huko unaenda unapata wamama wanasema this is a bread-based thing. You see? And I tend to agree with them because we as a region, we as a community, we as Kenyans, we have buried so many people who have been killed through the bullets. So in this case, anybody who has a payslip, I don't think, and if you are kichwa yako ikiwa ni mzuri unataka kutoka and vote for this regime. Okay? So there are so many if you are a parent. Today this thing which has been introduced to replace higher education loans board is a disaster. It's a disaster. I can tell you it has put millions of students out of education system, and I can tell you that is a recipe to more poverty into this country. There is no country that can get developed, can get transformed as a result of not taking good interest and keenness on education. We must have a good education in place. So in this, there are so many things that are going wrongly at the moment that I don't see even Kenyans, even in some. You wait. I hear one of the advisors, one of the very many advisors resigned. You wait and you will see more.
But the problem is here. If the opposition is not going to maintain the unity, because we understand that each of the opposition leaders has presidential ambitions. Don't you think that the president, because he is a president and to some extent he is also wise and cunning, because he is the president of the Republic of Kenya, he must be devising a formula, because if he divides the opposition, then that will give him a very good chance to be the president of the Republic of Kenya after 2027 general election. What do you think? Do you think a leader like your party leader will still be a member of the opposition if he is not picked as the presidential candidate for the opposition?
Opposition is made up of equals. This country transformed when President Kibaki came to power in 2002 onwards for the period he was there. Part of that time he was with Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Even before the enactment of the current constitution, President Kibaki introduced programs at the countryside that brought transformation at that level, developmental transformation. Part of it, if you can allow me, I can mention. The issue of CDF came during then. It is dying now under this regime.
Yes.
And President, he brought President Kibaki and Kalonzo brought the issue of steamer, pesa ya steamer na barabara in every constituency. DC used to have some bursaries at the district commissioner's office. Then there was a lot of programs that even economic stimulus program was introduced then. That stimulated economic growth and produced so many jobs at the local level. So in this case, this government, and where it started going wrong is by almost without saying trying to bring back centralism at the center instead of devolving more. Okay, and then we might. I'm tempted to say we need a united opposition for us to have this thing round one and convincingly. Okay, round one and convincingly. If any of our leaders, with a lot of respect to them, if one is purchased at night, given billions to betray this cause, Kenyans will never forgive him or her.
Okay. I think Bwana DG, we'd hate to keep you here. We know you're busy. Just give us your parting shot as we wrap it up.
Three things. One, fairness and constitutionalism.
Yeah.
Secondly, for please, our leaders in opposition, please don't disappoint Kenyans. Don't be purchased. Don't be bought by anyone. 3 is a message to myself and those elected into positions of leadership. Please put the people you lead first. Let them be part and be at the center of the agenda of implementation. Any agenda, any policy that you want to do, be at place the people you lead at the center. Consult them, listen to them. And I'm sure if you move along with them, you'll reach somewhere. And that is my message even to Kenya Kwanza administration. Please listen to Kenyans. Please carry along Kenyans in whatever you do. And something else I've remembered, I had said finally, is we need to also have our weapon, and our weapon is national ID.
Yeah.
And then let IEBC be operational. They do the demarcation they are doing. They issue voting cards. They clean the register. And I can tell Kenyans there is hope. Please, we have a country. We are seeing how the countries around the world in North and West Africa and within the region, how countries are becoming fragile, how they are striping or they are falling into civil war. Please, Kenya, you have a beautiful country. Let's all of us, whether as a leader or a citizen, let us be responsible.
Very wise words from the DG of Machakos, Bwana Francis Wangangi, who's been our guest here on Unfiltered. I hope your fellow leaders are listening, as well as Kenyans are listening to your words. Thank you very much for making time for us here at Unfiltered. Until next week, see you next week.
Thank you. And thank you for inviting me. There are so many deputy governors across the republic, or many leaders of substance have invited, of them. So thanks a lot.
Asante sana.
Okay.
Unfiltered with Bran Otieno and Dongo Gashane.